This week, the world leaders met in Canada for the G7 summit. G7 is an informal group of the world's most advanced economies, once used to be the world's biggest economies. It is a group of 7 countries: France, UK, US, Germany, Japan, Italy, Canada, and the European Union. Every year, the members meet to discuss global economic and geopolitical issues. This was a crucial time, though. The world is witnessing 2 wars, one in the Middle East and the other one between Russia and Ukraine. Trade disruptions are also going on, and slowing world growth is also a problem. The countries were supposed to sign deals with the US president, but only UK could bag one. The US president had to leave midway due to Israel and Iran's conflict, which intensified, and the US had declared that Tehran had to be evacuated immediately. India was also invited to attend the summit in Canada, and this was a landmark meet because the relations between India and Canada have been deteriorating. PM Modi had reached the location, Canada, on June 16. He was also supposed to be holding a bilateral meeting with President Donald Trump. But since he had left earlier in the summit, they got on a 35-minute call. PM Modi reiterated India's stance on terrorism and also emphasized that any third-party mediation between India and Pakistan is not required, and that the conflict paused because both parties spoke with one another to halt the conflict. Now, to the G7 leaders too, he had said that global action against terrorism was needed. He also pointed out a double standard in international actions, saying, and I quote, "On one hand, we are quick at imposing all kinds of sanctions based on our preferences. On the other hand, countries that openly support terrorism are avoided." PM Modi also held meetings with other leaders, including the Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney. During the conversation, Mark Carney said that relations between the 2 countries were extremely important. Post talks, India and Canada agreed to designate new high commissioners with a view to return to regular services to citizens and businesses in both countries, India and Canada. This comes despite the ongoing protests in Canada by Khalistani groups against Prime Minister Modi's visit. He also met with the German Chancellor Friedrich Merz to discuss ways to strengthen bilateral cooperation in trade, investment, defense, green energy, and technology. He also held a meeting with the leaders from Japan and South Korea. Overall, the G7 summit was not much of a success because of Trump's abrupt exit. On the Israel-Iran war, the group of 7 had issued a joint statement. It had said that while Israel has the right to defend itself, Iran must not obtain nuclear weapons. They urged that the 2 countries should de-escalate. On tariffs, they urged Trump to back away, arguing that it poses a risk to global economic stability. In the Russia-Ukraine war, UK had announced fresh sanctions on Russia. The country said that it wants to work with the G7 partners to squeeze Russia's energy revenues and reduce the funds to be able to stop the war. Ukraine also got a $1.47 billion military support from Canada. The G7 promised support to Ukraine, but Zelensky failed to get a joint statement from the 7 countries in his support. The G7 leaders also signed 6 joint statements on critical minerals, wildfires, artificial intelligence, and more. The next year's summit will be held in France. It will be hosted by the French.
If you like this video, then like, share, and subscribe to ET Now. If you like this video, then like, share, and subscribe to ET Now.